everybody, it's Nancy Mazo at notablynancy@gmail.com, and I'm here today to talk about pacing with level 1, pacing of level 1 at VIPKid. Okay, whether you're a new teacher or an experienced teacher, I have some really important tips to share with you about pacing like a pro. How do you get your pacing so that the student's comfortable, you're comfortable, and you deliver a great lesson? Okay, the first thing that you have to understand about level 1 is that level 1 is for children 3 years and 10 months through 5 years and 12 months who have had very little, if any, English background. So you can see already that is going to be a really wide span of personalities, maturity, growth levels, and English levels. You've really got a big span there that you're working with. Okay, what you need to understand about level 1 at VIPKid is level 1 is comprised of 12 units, which are 12 countries, and each unit has 8 lessons in it. Lesson 4 and Lesson 8 are checkpoint lessons where you are assessing the students' mastery of their objectives. But if you are interested in that kind of a video about assessment, which is different than the regular lessons, please drop me an email at notablynancy@gmail.com and tell me, because I'd love to make a video specifically on that, on the checkpoint lessons 4 and 8. This video is really addressing the regular lessons and how to pace them. Okay, so let's get started. Number one thing that you need to understand is that in addition to the class that the student has with you, the student has different learning phases that they go through for the unit and for the lesson. Now, before they even meet with you, they have watched a video on the unit introduction. Then they have a pre-class video. After that, their third exposure is their class with you, which is a 25-minute class. After they finish the class with you, they have computer homework enrichment. We don't call it homework anymore, we call it enrichment, and you'll see as I walk you through on one of the later slides, we say don't forget to do your enrichment. That's what used to be their homework. After they've done the computer enrichment, they have a workbook they work in before they meet with you or another teacher for the next lesson. So those are the stages that the student goes through. Okay, now in order to pace effectively, you need to know that there are anywhere in level 1, depending on the actual lesson, 24 to 27 to 33 or 34 slides. Okay, this is how I like to approach it, and I hope it helps you to give a really dynamic lesson. Okay, number one thing that I want you to know about level 1. Okay, I have an elementary through 12th grade certification with a double major in early childhood. Now, level 1 takes a tremendous amount of energy. I really call it edutainment. You could think of yourself like Big Bird on Sesame Street, because you are at level 1, you're doing a lot of the talking and teaching, whereas in the higher levels, in level, let's say 6 or 7, you are more of a facilitator. Here, you are an edutainment teacher, okay? And you've got to get these kids engaged and excited and really participating with you, and it takes a lot of energy. When I first started out in VIPKid, I was mainly teaching levels 1 and 2, and oh my goodness, by the time I was done with like 5 or 6 classes in a row, I was ready for a good nap because the energy expenditure is like amazing. So first of all, before you approach level one, really think about your personality and if that level is a good match for you. Okay, that's number one. So I'm going to walk you through. I cannot actually show you the slides, but you could really go to any slide that, you know, any level one kind of lesson that you have, and the things that I'm walking you through, you could be walking through on your screen. They might be slightly different, but it will give you a really good idea about the pacing. Okay, now, for example, the one I'm going to walk you through is a lesson that has 33 slides, and you're probably thinking, 33 slides and I have like 25 minutes. How is that going to work effectively? Okay, let's get started. I want to really walk you through it. Slide one is a parent info slide, and it starts in Chinese, and it's a slide that explains to the parents good posture, the things they're going to be learning, the objectives for that lesson. And sometimes before like my camera's on and the lesson is on, and I might just keep it at that slide because if the parent and child are there early, it's great for the parent to kind of be reviewing that and looking at that. Okay, that's the parent info. Slide two is in general a greeting slide. Depending on the lesson, they might be saying, are you a girl or a boy? How do you feel today? Are you happy? My name is Meg. What's your name? Okay. Besides that warm up, I'm already using that to assess my student if it's a new student, and you know what is going to be an effective way to teach them depending on their personality, depending on their level of English knowledge. Okay, all those things make a difference, and I'm already like, while I'm talking to them, assessing that. While I'm assessing that, I'm thinking about these factors. Okay, number one, is the student shy? Okay, if the student's shy, don't forget to use Dino or to use a puppet, because they might be like intimidated to even speak to you. But if Dino asks them their name, they already feel more comfortable and more willing to participate and engage in the lesson. Okay, in the lesson, I tend to be a very like, rah, 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 hello, hello, how are you? Okay, but that doesn't work with some students. Some students need like a quieter, more conventional, kind of under control approach. And you really have to be assessing that and matching that. Because if you're like rah rah and the student's a reserved student, they're going to be like looking at you like a deer in headlights, like, oh my goodness, like what's going on here? I can't relate to this. Okay, so don't start by being over the top. Really assess your student. Some students love it. They're like, they can't wait. They're active, and you need to use a lot of TPR and rah-rah and loud and funny and all that stuff that works with them. Okay, but that's not every student. You really need to be accurately assessing and gauging that. And that's what I like to do in the greeting slide and the warm-up slides. Okay, the child might be young, they might be active and distractible. If they are, they'll need lots of props, lots of action, lots of different things to pull them in and get them excited about the lesson, like, oh, yay, you did a good job, wow, high five, high five, high five, high five, high five. Wow, wow, and you know, jumping up and down and out of your seat. Depends on the student, and we have a range from A to Z, like boom. You have to be ready to really be able to adapt your teaching style to all of those different types of students and ages. Okay. Next thing to assess, and you'll see this pretty quickly, is mom and dad an active part of the lesson? Okay, because if they are or if they are not, that will also really help you to determine what's going to be an effective teaching approach. Okay, so you've gone through the greeting and you're already assessing. Hi, you know what I do in the beginning is say, hello, my name is Teacher Nancy and I'm so happy to see you in my class today. What's your name? Okay, so they will say, what is your name? I always hold up my name sign. I've addressed this in previous videos. My name is Harry. Harry, good job. I like to hold this up. I like them to see their name. It's like visual and auditory reinforcement. You can't go wrong. You can't make a mistake with an extra learning style reinforcement. Okay, the next question I ask them is, how old are you? Okay, and they might be very fluent to be able to say, I'm 7 years old. Or they might kind of look at you like, what's she asking? I don't understand. If they do, I have these Meg and Mike that I use, and if I see that they don't understand, I show again and I say, Meg, how old are you? And Meg says, I'm 5 years old. I might even use the AR sticker. Okay, one thing I want to say about the AR stickers is that some kids love them and some kids are like, get that thing away from me. Some parents love it and think it's funny. Some parents would prefer that you don't use it. So those are things you need to be assessing. Okay, I'm still assessing, and as I'm explaining it, it sounds like a long process, but I've probably spent like a minute and a half at most on this. Now I'm on the title slide, which generally says, the title of the country that we're in. Like it will say, I'm just going to give an example. I think I can. Meg and Mike in Italy. Okay, at this slide, I have the students say the country, Italy, Italy, and then I have a little world ball, and I show them where it is. Okay, and I'm actually on Italy. This is Italy, and I show them. I might make my camera big so they can really see what I'm talking about. I have them repeat the name of the country, 1, 2, 3 times depending on their ability. Keep in mind that in level 1, you might be doing the teaching and they might be in what's called a silent period. The silent period means that they're absorbing what you're talking about, but they are not yet answering or being that active. And that's okay. That's something that we expect. Okay. Usually at the title slide is when I introduce my reward. Now there is a reward slide you can use in the lesson. Usually I do a Google Slides reward on my cell phone. And when the child has had me more than, once, they start getting used to my routine, and I use the same routine every time. So I say, wow, are you ready? When you do a great job, you get most of the time they can say star. And I say, and when you do a good job, you get a prize, a reward from the girls' claw machine. Now, I get so excited about these rewards, and I have to say, I pick out rewards that I'm excited about because I want to share that excitement. I have not had a student yet. Oh, not true, false reporting. I have had one student that was not excited about the reward that I had chosen, and I just quickly switched to another one. I was really surprised when this little 5-year-old boy said, I said, and when you do a great job, you get a shark reward. And he was like, I don't like sharks. I'm like, How can a 5-year-old boy not like sharks? But I could, oh, do you like dolphins? Yes. I quickly switch to dolphins. I like to use the reward that they're excited about. Sometimes I see that their camera is on before start time, and I also try to observe and assess. Are they wearing a Disney princess? Are they wearing a Hello Kitty? Do they have Spider-Man? I try to incorporate like what it looks like they're interested into my reward, and that can be really motivating for them. Now, the next slide is generally a warm-up song. I use my microphone and I say, okay, now it's time to sing la 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 la, and they say la 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 la. And many times I use, if they don't have their own microphone, I use an AR microphone sticker that's like a microphone in a little cute wings on their head or something. And in general, they like that. And we sing the warm-up song. There's a recording, but I always sing it with them. I love singing. I'm like a choir member, and it's really, who likes singing more, me or the kids? We all do, but I sing with them. I participate with them. Okay, and now I have taken my 3 minutes, which, you know, we're on countdown to 22 minutes now, to really use the time. Besides what those intro warm-up activities are, I'm really assessing. I'm assessing where they're at and how can I teach them the most effectively, depending on their English level, their personality, and what they're kind of about. I really incorporate that into my lesson. Sometimes the reward slide comes up. Sometimes it's a puzzle, sometimes it's something else. Sometimes I use it to like reinforce vocabulary, sometimes I don't. In general, unless I really got excited about it, I use an external Google Slides reward, but you can decide about that by yourself. The other thing I find with the younger ones is I'm better, and it's more effective and less distracting for them if, okay, here I'm pretending I have a phone. Here's my Google Slides reward, and I'm not like flipping back and forth to get to the reward slide and back, because sometimes when you do that with younger, less mature students, you can kind of lose them in that transition. Okay, then we have several warm-up slides. Usually there's an intro to vocabulary, which I go over. Usually there's an action, an introduction to an action that will be an objective in this lesson. It could be listen, okay, or it could be, well, I use the example listen. It could be stand up, sit down, but there will be some kind of an action that's related to the lesson. After the introduction, you're already getting into the theme of the lesson. Okay, in this particular lesson, the theme slide started on slide 9. By slide 9, I'm like 7 or 8 minutes into this lesson, and I've got a really good idea of what's going to be effective with this particular student. Okay, and depending on the type of student in this particular lesson, the theme lessons were from 9 to 12. In general, you can kind of go through them fairly quickly. You don't need to take a whole minute on each slide. They usually don't take a minute. Now, if you have a student and you're looking at the time and you see that you're running behind and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, 15 minutes have gone by and I'm on slide 15. I don't have another 15 minutes. What you can do, I would strongly suggest that you do not skip slides at all. Parents don't like it. I don't think VIP likes it, because the idea is that you need to be covering all the objectives of the lesson. But what you can do is do a partial slide. For example, if there are 4 exercises there, maybe instead of doing all 4, if you don't have time, you're going to do 2, okay, because the student has demonstrated their mastery of that objective, and you don't need to go through all 4, and you might not have time, okay? So you've constantly got to be looking at your little time clock, looking at how much time you have left and what you have to go through to keep your pacing accurate, okay? After the theme, there is a unit song, okay, and depending on where you are in the unit, it could be a new song, it could be new to the student if they're at the beginning of the unit, and in that case you might be doing more with vocabulary and introducing them to different concepts before you start, so when you're singing with them they have an idea. I usually use 2D props for this. But you could use 2D, you could use 3D, you could just circle the picture on the slide. I don't generally do that because with the younger students and less mature students, they sort of need something more enticing to engage them in the lesson. Usually there's an action, clap, listen, and in the beginning of the unit they might be listening and clapping. By the end of the unit they'll be singing along, because this unit song repeats itself. It repeats itself on most of the lessons except for the checkpoints, which are 4 and 8. After that, usually you have 1 or 2 or even sometimes 3 letters that you are either introducing or reviewing. I'll say again, I have these cards. I like to use them in addition to what's on the slide. I find them really reinforcing. Big K, small k, kangaroo. It's just another way to give them the information and let them have another more time to practice at it. Okay, so after the letters there is always the ABC song, and many times on the units they'll have like A through M or A through G, not the whole song. Now, in 99.99999 of the cases, these kids want to show you that they know their ABC song. Once they get started, it's like a wound spring. It's like, how can you stop at M? You have to let them finish the song. Okay, if they are a regular student and you've heard them sing the ABC song before and you know they know it, I wouldn't recommend it. You didn't hear it here, but if you need to, that's a slide like you could skip if you've heard it before, but it's kind of a shame to skip it because they love to sing and they love to show you, and they're usually really proud of how they can sing. I let them sing and I sing with them from A to Z, and then the end of it is like, now you see I can sing. I can sing my ABCs. Wow, Harry, awesome. High five. That was a great job. Okay, I let them sing it. I need to make time for that because they enjoy that and it's fun for them and they love to show that they know it. Okay, after that we have sounds. Okay, these are the phonics sounds, and usually there are 3 in a lesson. I try to have something to reinforce it. Okay, they have pictures and you can listen to the sound on the slide, but for example, if we're doing mouse, I go, ow, ow, mouse. Now I can circle the mouse on the slide, but these finger puppets are really effective. Or oi, oi, boy. I like to show them something additional. It helps them to really like incorporate it into their learning. Okay, then there will always be like a soft skills, which might be sorting, categorizing what goes next, what's different in every unit and lesson. It's a little bit different, but that's something that the student interacts with. The other thing I want to say about Unit 1 is another thing that you are teaching them are computer skills. Okay, click with your mouse, drag and drop, draw a line. Now, some of them get so excited and they might like color a whole page if you would let them. Okay, but if you see that they're doing things with their mouse on the screen that it's distracting them from the lesson, shh, secret, you have a little icon at the bottom that is like a no smoking. It's like a circle and a thing like no mouse. Okay, you can turn their mouse off, and sometimes you need to turn their mouse off. I don't say anything, okay? I just do it, and then all of a sudden they're like, but they might spend like 2 or 3 seconds kind of being surprised, but for some of them it helps them concentrate on the lesson when their mouse is off. Don't be afraid to turn it off, and then when they need to do something, remember to turn it back on, okay? Because if you ask them to do something and that their mouse is turned off, like drag and drop, and they're trying to do it, but their mouse is off, you didn't turn it back on. So make sure when you want them to participate again that their mouse is back on and they really can participate. Okay, now at the end there's a wrap up. Usually lately it's been called an extra slide. If I need to extend, this is a slide that reviews all the vocabulary. It usually has about 7 or 8 words, and you click a little arrow and it says the word and the student repeats. Okay, what I usually do with these is I number them. Okay, here's number 1, because otherwise there are a lot on a screen and it's hard for the student to like know where you are. So I try to categorize it a little more structurally so they see exactly where I am. Now, if you see that you need to extend, you can do this slide. If you see that you're running out of time, I like don't do it in class, and then I say, because we are not supposed to say in our feedback anymore for homework. Okay, I don't say for homework. I say at home, please complete the extra slide, whatever slide it is. It's usually 26, 29. It's toward the end. Okay, so just see how your timing's going with that. Okay, after that, you have a wrap-up song slide. It's another song that's similar to the warm-up song. And I'm like, okay, let's sing la again. I try to introduce them and like have specific kind of TPR that I'm using so that they know what's coming up. Okay, so whenever I have a song, I say, okay, sing la 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 la, and then I hold my microphone to them and they know what's going to happen, especially if they've had me for several lessons. I use the same format every time. I even wear the same shirt and the same hat so they know it's Teacher Nancy and they can predict the way that the lesson progresses. And I try to keep it very consistent, and so it's never a surprise to them. And I think there's a real security in that for them, because when they know what to expect, they can really concentrate on the objectives of the lesson. Okay, after that, there's a slide that you say enrichment time to like save time for the goodbye slide so you can do it properly. What I do not like to do is like, whoa, I'm running out of time. I haven't paced properly. Goodbye, goodbye, blah. No, I use it as like a wrap up and a summary. I see there's Dino goodbye, and I say, goodbye, Harry. Goodbye, Harry. You did a great job in class. You got 5 stars and the Dino Reward. Great job. Goodbye. See you again next time. And then I either say high five, high five, high five, high five, or I say great class and the camera goes off. I don't like an abrupt goodbye. I like it to really be structured and like they're knowing what to expect. Sometimes they turn off the camera before I do, like after the 25-minute mark, because they know it's my goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. They know what to expect. They haven't missed anything. But I like for them to know what, like I have a goodbye routine and I follow it every time. Now, if I'm at like 24 minutes and I'm at the goodbye slide, okay, then I might sing the goodbye song, okay, which is goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, bye, bye. Goodbye, bye, bye. Okay, so that's goodbye, goodbye. Great video. I hope this was really helpful for you. Please, if you would like to see a walkthrough on the lesson 4 and 8 assessments, please drop me an email at notablynancy@gmail.com. If you find this content helpful, please subscribe to my channel. Basically, I'm putting out a video every Thursday. I will have some freebies in the near future to offer you. I hope even by next week, and I'll go over that next week. So I want to say goodbye, stay healthy and safe, happy teaching, and see you again next time. Thanks. Have a great week.